Welcome to this episode of Inside Tulsa Athletics. This is a special episode about the 58th Annual Tournament of Champions basketball tournament, December 27, 28, and 29. We have 16 head coaches from all of the teams that will be in the tournament. We'll also have Mick Wilson, the Executive Director of Athletics and the Tournament Director for the 58th Annual Tournament. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back with our 4 girls coaches from Edmond Memorial, Tahlequah, Kiefer, and Riverside. Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. This is the 58th edition of the Tournament of Champions show. Today, we have 4 of our coaches to start their show today, and we'll start with Rachel Crabaugh. We'll have James Kelley, Edmond Qualls, and John Coons representing their schools. Rachel comes from Edmond Memorial. James Kelley is from Riverside. David Qualls is from Tahlequah, and John Coons from Kiefer. Well, coaches, this is the 58th annual. It is a longevity, started in 1966 at Memorial High School. A good friend of mine, an old colleague of mine that I did my student teaching for, Doug Duggar, was the athletic director and started that tournament back then. And from that, it has gone to this, where we've been at 4 different locations. Played at Memorial, we played at the Pavilion, we played at the Mabee Center, and now we've graduated to the BOK. And we think it's a great experience for kids, and certainly glad you're here. Well, Rachel, what does this tournament mean to your team?
We were here with the late coach Kurt Knox several years ago at the Memorial and it was just a great opportunity to bond and grow as a team. I think going into the new year, it's a great time to make sure you're gelling and feeling good as a team, and it's just a really wonderful opportunity, to play on such a big stage and get closer as a group.
John, what do you think?
I played in it, very fortunate enough, a long time ago. Last year, this was our first year to go as a school and then to be back. Great opportunity for the kids, very thankful. Chance for them to play on the big floor, and they just had so much fun last year, and I'm really looking forward to bringing our younger kids, our newer kids back to have that same experience.
David, what do the Tigers think about it?
It's a great opportunity for us. This is that tournament that is equivalent to the state tournament, if not tougher than the state tournament. So competition's always great. Coaches are always great. You get to see and compete against, and our kids were excited to get the invitation.
James?
For us, we're kind of an up and coming program, so we're breaking a lot of history for our school. Being in state tournament and stuff like that. So for us, it's a preparation for state tournament because we're still in trying to find our first state championship.
Well, you're close here. We look every year at the end of the tournament, the state tournament, and see how many teams have been in this tournament that were in the state tournament. So when you're playing the best of the best, it makes your kids play better, I think. As you look at your program, what does the prestige of this tournament do for your overall program? Anybody?
Last year, we have very active 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade program. A lot of girls are excited about playing. You looked up all the games last year and you see them, and it's a great experience for them. It takes a lot to get here, and it gives them something to work for, for them to get on that floor as well.
What about your community?
I agree with that. That it's not just bringing in younger players, but for us Native Americans really do have a large following, and they really support Native teams. Mm-hmm. So for us, it's a way for us to represent our community as a whole, not just in our town, but statewide, nationwide.
Rachel, Edmond's continuing to grow. What effect does it have on your district?
I think, having, like you said, the opportunity to play against some of the best talent, it just prepares you, and it makes people hungry to stay on the top and to be able to go and play in these tournaments, because it is just such an opportunity.
David, you're close, 60 miles or so.
Yeah.
What effect does it have on Tahlequah?
I just think that, we've had teams, this is our third group to come in the last 6 years, and the senior class getting to see, as junior high kids, the girls older than them, and now getting their opportunity to come compete in this tournament is pretty special.
Do you have, because it is winter break, school's out, any special preparation that you do that you wouldn't do normally for a regular season tournament?
Christmas Eve practice. I think when you have these tournaments that fall over the winter break, it does interfere with holidays, and people have to show up, and it just shows really who is bought in, which families are supportive, and because it's a grind, but when you're going to something as awesome as the Tournament Champions, it kind of makes those things even more worth it.
David, what do you think?
No, I agree. It's, you see who's committed, and you kind of give them some heads up when you get the invite, like, hey, next year you're not going to get much for Christmas. You got to be ready to work. And our kids have kind of bought into that. They're excited for it. And, I think we'll get some good work in before we come up.
Well, let's talk about, and we'll start with Rachel. We'll talk about some of your go-to players, the ones that are going to be a difference maker in this tournament.
Yes, so we have a lot of talent this year. We have our senior captain, Addie Johnson. She's a D1 soccer commit to UTSA. She just is our defensive machine. And our two big recruits who are getting recruited by some of the best schools are Avery Jolmstead and Janiah Williams. And both of those girls, Jolmstead can light it up from the 3-point. Janiah Williams can go create and has such a great mid-range jumper and is so strong. So there's a lot of girls to watch for from the Bulldogs.
James?
My main two that I go to has 7 offers from Jim Cody and AIA. Jones has 7, I believe, from about the same. But my whole starting 5 has at least 3 offers or more from anywhere from low range to high range. And we're hoping that we get a little bit more exposure in this tournament so that we can get them exposed to some higher level colleges and stuff like that.
Yeah. David?
Rainwater is committed to the U.S. Air Force Academy. We'll play at Air Force next year. Jaden Buttrey signed with Northeastern State on Monday. So those two are kind of my seniors we're leading on this year. But we have a pretty senior-laden group. We've got 4 or 5 of them that'll probably end up playing at some capacity at the next level.
John?
For us, we're young and kind of experienced. Our whole team, I think, it's not a cliche with some coaches. We do it together, but we're really going to have to do this thing together. We've got 2 returning starters, Kelley Routon and Faith Williams, that we'll lean on with their experience and what they've been able to do the last couple of years. But really, we open up tomorrow, and I couldn't tell you who might be our leading scorer. And that's just that's the kind of girls we have. But they just really know we're going to have to really be together this year to be successful.
Well, it'll be a good test early for everybody to see what to look forward to when you get to January, February, when it gets into the tournament time. And then in the 5 and 6A schools, of course, they'll have the districts now that will play a role. And that's an unfortunate thing in one respect and a fortunate thing in another. I always said that I wish we could just settle it on the court, not in the voting box.
Mm-hmm.
But it did away with the conferences in the 5 and 6A. So you don't have those good conference rivals anymore and so on. So it is a different deal. As we look at getting ready for Tournament of Champions, how is it affect any of your teams, the ones that are staying over, staying downtown in downtown Tulsa, playing in the big building? What effect does that have on your kids?
Last year, I thought my kids handled it pretty good, considering, we schedule for our scrimmages 5A, 6A teams so that we're not in shock when we get to that point. We go have a few practices at a bigger gym, to kind of get used to, the shooting in the back, lack of a backdrop, I guess you could say. But, it can be different, but you just do the best you can to prepare your kids. And those are a couple of things that we've done.
James, how will your kids play on the road?
Same where, again, we're trying to expose them to this type of atmosphere consistently so that whenever the big lights come on, they're not so, shell shocked and stuff like that. And this is a perfect opportunity for that. And I think that, the venues and stuff that are down here are going to perfectly prepare us for that.
I know one of the things you talked about, the prospect that you all have, and it is amazing. You'll look up in the stands and see how many college coaches are up there on their cell phones making notes and sending things back to the recruiting coordinator that we need to take a look at this one or that one. Well, guys, we're glad you're here. This is a great time, an exciting time for our district to be able to host this and do it for 58 years in a row. But we have some great teams, and we wish you all luck when we see you on the 27th at the BOK. We'll be right back with another segment of Boys Coaches.
Hey, Tulsa, we have a crushing recycle play of the day for you. Team Johnson versus paper and cardboard.
They're starting off slow today, probably trying to figure out what to do with those styrofoam plates, since they're not recyclable.
There's the big play we were waiting for. Boom! Completely empty cardboard boxes dunked in the cart. Score big by recycling your cardboard and paper. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Edison High School has taught me to work as a team rather than as an individual. Whenever you're on a team, you have a special bond with each other. You know you can rely on them in a time of need, whether on or off the court. Whether it be a shoulder to cry on or advice on how you can improve, you know your team will always be there for you.
Welcome back to our second segment. Now we have some boys coaches that are in the 58th annual Tournament of Champions. Starting to my right will be Jeff Edmondson from Dale, Scott Norris from Edmond North, Derrick Bull from Weatherford, and Shawn Schenk from Crossings Christian. Guys, it's tournament time. It's a big time of the year. Some of you have played, some of you haven't played a game. But this gives you a pretty good litmus test in the first month in December where you are and where you might want to be as you get ready to playoff time. So let's talk about that. What in this tournament, Shawn, what does it mean to your school, your community, playing in the BOK?
Well, it's our third year, and we've loved being here every time. I've said before that this is always a dream. I never had this privilege as a coach and any of my teams to be a part of it. And it's meant a lot to our guys. They always say that this is their favorite experience, at the end of the year. They just love it. It's been a blast. It's fun to get away and have that time together in a hotel together. I think it's really bonded us. And then our fans just absolutely love it. They love coming up here. It's fun to play in that kind of venue, a world-class venue, a venue that helps you to have a little bit of a feel for playing in a state tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're at the big house in the city or one of our state schools, maybe is a large school. So it's been a blast and get to play against great competition. It means a lot to us.
Scott, what does it mean to your group?
I think the rich tradition through the years of what, myself coming and watching for so many years, and it's just an honor to be, in this environment, in this field. The field this year is extremely loaded, so we kind of feel like the little kid on the table right here. So it's but it's fun to be in that environment. It's the BOK is a great gymnasium / arena. You get to play on a floor that some NBA guys have been on. So it's special to us, and I think our guys will respect the venue and play. Hopefully get out of the first round this year since we're away from Crossings.
Well, everybody says when we prepare the teams when they come in, you can be 3-0 or you can be 0-3. We've had 0-3s win state championships at the end because the tournament makeup is so tough. But Jeff, what does it mean to your group?
We're all about getting better, and when you play against such a tough field, no matter what, you're gonna be forced to get better. It's such a big challenge, and our fans are so good. They love supporting us, so they love coming up here. Last year it was like Shawn said, it's a dream come true. It was just a great experience.
Derrick?
This will be our first time coming, myself included, our kids. So just looking forward to the opportunity. We know the history and the great players and teams that have played in this before, and we're just looking forward to coming up and playing and seeing where we're at as a team.
I think that's part of it, the tradition and the legacy that the tournament had over the years, and the number of players that have played over the years. Mick and I have a ongoing deal. We spent 2 years in this tournament one year. It was on New Year's Eve, the finals, and we went to triple overtime. So we went from 31 to January 1, and we finally finished it with a winner. As we look at your preparation for the tournament, do you make any type of special preparation because it is over Christmas? Jeff, what do you think about that?
We try to play a really tough schedule. In the summertime, we try to play a lot of larger schools, bigger schools, and this year we've already went to a tournament in Illinois that had some really large schools to kind of prepare us for the just the elite talent we're getting ready to face from all these schools.
You were runner-up in that tournament.
Yeah, we were 3-1. We played beat a really good Metamora school on Saturday, so it was a really good experience up there.
Fantastic. Shawn, what do you think?
So in terms of preparation, it is nice that Christmas time that you have a lot of practices, but us as coaches also know that's also a bad thing because your kids are kind of in that game mode and want to play. And so having a Christmas tournament, I think, has really helped us to continue to kind of keep that momentum. Hopefully that you're starting to build. It's great for me in our school. We have a lot of football kids. About half of my kids were on the football field. And so this is we need to get them ready, as we head down the stretch and into playoffs, and having a tournament at Christmas time is great for that. The competition here just is elite, so I've been trying to look for another 6'10" kid and maybe a shooting guard or something around, but no, the competition, the coaching here is just phenomenal. And so if you can compete in this tournament, the rest of your season looks pretty good.
You couldn't find anybody in the portal.
I didn't find. I was looking at NIL just
Derrick, how is it in Webster? In Weatherford.
Like I said, we've never had a holiday tournament before, so we're looking forward to this. I know all our players' parents have already reserved rooms, and they're looking forward to coming up. Holiday time, everybody being together. So I think it'll be a really good experience just from a team bonding standpoint, and coming up and experiencing this together, against really good teams.
A couple of days after Christmas, it's time to kind of get out of the house and take a little trip. Scott, Edmond, what does it mean to you guys?
It's a little different for us, you want to have a Christmas break, you want to give the kids some time off, but we're going to give them a couple of days. We're going to have to practice, probably Christmas night and try to get prepared and playing that early morning game, on the 27th. We made the mistake last year of not coming the night before, and we're not going to make that mistake this year. So we learned, but I think with this tournament, it's such a big deal, and it's such an honor. No matter what time of the year you're playing or what date you have to play on, you make that sacrifice. And our parents and kids understand that a little less time at Christmas, just what the sacrifice is right now.
Jeff, what do you think about playing in the BOK? It's a huge 20,000 seat arena, and something unlike most of our high schools play in.
Right, it's awesome. Our kids love it. Like Scott said, it's just an honor to be in this tournament. This tournament's went on so many years. I used to come watch it when I was a kid. These kids are basketball kids, so their parents grew up watching it, so they know how big a deal it is and what a big tournament is. And the BOK is an awesome arena to play in. So
it's always interesting. I think it's maybe one time or early time of the year where you shoot at a basket is out in nowhere. There's nothing behind it, and that's a little bit different. Shawn, how do you adjust to that?
Well, I grew up playing outside, so for me as a shooter it's nothing, right, Scott? No, I don't know if we can necessarily prepare for not having, for playing in that kind of arena. I think the best thing is it prepares you again for postseason play. And, thankfully we've been here it's our third year and a lot of our kids have played in it. And so I think there's a comfort level and just that they've enjoyed being on the floor. And again, I think you're right. The tradition, maybe our kids don't know that as much as like our parents. And our parents have all remember this tournament from when they were playing or as kids and watching some special players playing. To get to be a part of that, even a small part, is pretty special.
It sure is. Scott, what do you think?
I think I'll go Gene Hackman and carry my tape measure with me, and say it's just like our goals back in Hickory, isn't it?
Exactly.
So, we've been fortunate enough. We've playing at OU the last couple of years in the state tournament, playing here last year. To me, I don't make a big deal out of it to anybody. I think some people can get in their heads because they talk about it. Hey, it's a gym, it's a basketball, it's what you've been doing all your life. So let's go at it.
Exactly. What do you think, Derrick, about that?
It'll be obviously a really nice facility, so it'll be cool for these kids to get to experience that. We've done some stuff in the past as far as like summertime, going to OU and OSU and TU team camps, so playing in some bigger arenas as well as the fairgrounds the last few years. So I don't think it'll be a huge adjustment, but we're just looking forward to playing in there.
Good. Well, let's start with Shawn, and let's talk about go-to players. We got about 20 seconds each.
Okay. Well, we bring everybody back from last year, and I'll play 12 deep. But our three best players are all underclassmen. Cal Furnace, our point guard, makes us go. He's a special young player. He's had a great tournament the last couple of years there. Cam Parker, 6'6", kind of forward, can shoot it, post up, and big energy guy. And we've got a sophomore that's 6'7", 6'8" shooting guard that can really shoot the ball and play inside as well, and Phoenix Woodson. So got some really good players and some great role guys as well.
Derrick.
We return our whole team from last year too. We got one senior, Nate Rearman. He's kind of our senior leader. He's 6'6", plays both ends of the floor really well. CJ Nixon, our leading scorer and rebounder, returning. He's a junior, 6'6". He's a big-time football, basketball player. And then got two twins, Ethan and Tate Sage. They're both 6'6", 6'7", long kids that are very skilled. And then Jackson Smith's our fifth starter, and he was a good, solid role player for us last year. So,
Scott?
Well, we got three starters back, so we're kind of odd, but it starts with Dylan Warlick inside, state tournament player of the year, whatever, state tournament player of the year. Last 2 years, great player. Dontrell Yearby's a returning starter. Bryce Potts, Keontae Tramble. We're deep. We're excited about our squad.
We've got everybody back and all of our reserves. We're led by Dayton Forsyth, who I think was the MVP the last two H-State championships. But what I tell everybody, we have a great team. They all fit together really good. And Easton Edmondson, Levi Kelley, Trey Chambers, Deacon Jones, Denton Forsyth, and Jed Higdon are all really good players also. So we got a good group.
Well, guys, good luck. I'm glad you'll be in Tulsa over Christmas, and good luck to be in the tournament. And when we come back, we'll have another set of girls coaches.
Hey, Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against one tough competitor, glass.
That's right. Only glass bottles and jars are recyclable. Don't even think about sinking a drink in glass or mirror. Always good to empty your glass bottles and jars before recycling.
These two get it, emptying both bottles from far out, and they remove the lids. Score big by recycling your glass bottles and jars. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
I feel like athletics is so important at Tulsa Central because it's an outlet for some of our kids there. They get a better opportunity to basically give back to our community.
At McLean, the sports is what mainly drives a bunch of the students to come to school every single day and work hard because they want to be able to come from the classroom to the field or the court and show at what they're good at.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics in this special edition of the 58th Annual Tournament of Champions. We have four girls coaches now that will tell us about their teams and how it feels to be in the BOK. Darlean Calip is from Sapulpa. We have Melanie Stewart from Lincoln Christian, Mike Buntin from Verdigris, and Rabu Leyva from Booker T. Washington. Well, guys, we're glad you're here. It's the 58th time that we're going to do this, and what a great opportunity, I think, for kids and for high school basketball in the state of Oklahoma. Let's get into it. Darlean, what does this mean to Sapulpa athletics and to the community in Sapulpa that come to the tournament?
Well, it's a huge honor. You know, this is such a great tournament, very prestigious tournament. And I feel like anytime you have an opportunity to come and showcase your school, your talent, your community, it's a great honor. And so we're just super excited to represent Sapulpa, and just to let people see our program and where we are, the tradition that we hold with our program.
Rabu.
To represent the city of Tulsa, I mean, as a Tulsa public school and a premier event, Tulsa kids grow up wanting to play in this tournament. So for us, it's just a chance to let our kids showcase what Tulsa can do.
Mike?
Yeah, I just reiterate the same things they've said. Our kids have come to this tournament every year to watch and kind of growing up wanting to be a part of this because it is such an honor and such a prestigious event to be a part of the most elite programs in the area, in the state. It's just one of those opportunities that you just are very excited about.
Melanie?
Absolutely an honor. To be invited back is even more of an honor. And so for our kids, I think that it's just a huge opportunity for them to go out, like they've said here today, just to showcase what they can do on a big stage. It's a good preparation for us, so we're excited about that.
You know, this is obviously a Christmas tournament, and that's a family time and everything. So as you look at your preparation, Rabu, what do you do about special preparation? Is Christmas time off, time back on the court? How do you do that?
Well, one thing we try to do is make sure that our girls are giving back during this time. So it's not just about basketball. So we're partnering with the Lindsay House. So the girls are giving gifts to the Lindsay House. And then we tied it into practice. So one of the practices will be going to the Lindsay House, seeing that. I think that gives them a chance to rejuvenate for practice. So it's not just basketball. There's a break in there, and then we can get going.
Melanie?
Well, for us, just because it is the Christmas break, we try to give our kids as much of a break as we possibly can. We kind of alter that schedule a little bit, to give gaps on both the front end and the back end of Christmas break so that they can get out of town, get back in town, and get those practices in. But just really trying to get some extra bodies in there to help us. I know we oftentimes have boys come in to help us to try to prepare for the competition that we're going to see at this tournament.
Mike?
Yeah, kind of the same thing. We try to give them as many breaks as they can to spend time with family. This is also a fun time for our kids. We bring a lot of our alumni back because they're in from Christmas break from college, and they come in and will kind of scrimmage with us. And most of them they are a little bit higher basketball IQ, so they can really definitely showcase some of the things that we're going to be seeing. But I think it's also important to give them breaks later on throughout the season because this is a time when you give that opportunity to get their legs back. And so missing that tournament later on in the season will give them some opportunity to take some time off.
Darlean?
Same as most have said, but we give our kids a longer break at Thanksgiving because we do know that we're going to play this tournament. But our kids are, they understand and they appreciate this tournament, and so mentally and competitively they want to play in this because they understand what it means to be invited to this prestigious tournament. So I think it's just a matter of you communicating up front, letting your kids know the schedule, the expectations, and they relish it. So like Coach said, we'll give some time after this tournament and later on in the season just to kind of keep their bodies ready for the playoffs.
BOK is a huge 20,000 seat arena with baskets out in space, which you don't see that very often at the high school level. Mike, how do you prepare for that type of shooting?
I don't know that you actually can prepare for shooting in that type of facility. I know our kids will we have a big facility and we understand what that entails, but you still can't prepare for something that wide open.
Yeah, it is. Rabu?
Shooters can shoot. If you can't shoot, you can't shoot anyway. So, get up a lot of shots. That's what we try to do to get ready for it.
Melanie?
I think for us, we have oftentimes tried to find somebody that we could scrimmage over the break that maybe has those baskets that are stand alone and not attached to the back of the gym wall. And so sometimes we'll go out and we'll try to find an opponent that we can maybe scrimmage to prep for that before we leave for Christmas break, just to give them an idea of what that could look like.
Darlean, you played in it last year. Great tournament game.
Right.
I remember.
Absolutely.
So do you think that helps your kids?
Oh, I tremendously. I was going to say, having been here last year really helped and prepares our kids for that in a sense because we only lost 2 kids from last year, so majority of the team is back. But, our thing is, hey, shoot high percentage shots first so you can kind of get a rhythm and a flow of the game, then we expand. But, kids are resilient. they find a way to have success. So I think it's great. It prepares us for the state tournament because the Lloyd Nobles like that. And so this is we really appreciate this opportunity in December to prepare our kids or give them an opportunity to play in a tough tournament like this because it prepares us for the state tournament.
Yeah, sure it does. Well, let's start with you. Tell me about your great players.
I've got some really, I don't really like to specialize or talk about a specific because I'm so team oriented and I know that we will not be successful with one person, So we have about 7 or 8 kids that I really like, that I feel like once the puzzle starts to come together that we could be really special. Right now we're trying to find the leadership and the identity because everybody's role is different from last year, but I like our pieces and I'm just super excited to be playing, really blessed and honored to be playing in this tournament so that we can see where we are now and just help us grow and get to where we need to be in March.
Melanie?
For us, I would say the same thing as Darlene. We lost 3 kids off of our squad from last year, but several of our kids that are returning too, for sure, started in this tournament, and then we had 2 or 3 reserves that played quite a few minutes for us in this tournament. So just coming back and getting that experience, I think is going to help them. But I think for us, we are so team oriented and we are trying to move the basketball and share the basketball a lot. I think our kids will come out and they'll make a good showing as a group. You never know. With our squad, any one kid could have a breakout time, and we saw that throughout the season last year. I don't expect that to be any different this year.
I've always said in coaching, you know that your good players are going to play pretty good, but it's that one you don't expect to play really well that makes the difference in the game.
Yeah.
Mike, what do you think?
Man, we lost 2 really good seniors off last year's team, and so we're trying to really establish a new identity. We have a lot of returning. We have a really senior dominant, but we also have 4 freshmen that we're acclimating a lot to our program. But nothing we do, everything goes through Maddie Daniels. She's our point guard. She doesn't score a lot, but she is the heart and soul of what we do. She's one of those incredible on-ball defenders, just an incredible leader, gets us in stuff. And when she's not on the floor, we can definitely tell a difference. And then Kate Wigginton is become a lights-out shooter. She's averaging a little over 20 points a game so far early in the season. And everything really kind of goes through those 2.
Rabu?
We're fortunate. We're back 4 of our 5 starters from last year's team, state tournament team, so a lot of experience. Obviously, Markayla Johnson to be able to commit. Great kid, hard worker. As she goes, we kind of go. But anybody in our starting lineup, kind of like other coaches said, we need everybody to be successful. So Ryan Mayberry, Tierra Owens, Kylan, Bailey, all those girls play a big role of us being successful.
Well, it's a great tournament, and we're glad you're here. And hopefully it'll be the same as always. As we say, there's some teams that are going to be 3-0, and there's going to be a team that's going to be 0-3, and you still have a chance when you leave here. We'll be right back with the boys' coaches to wrap up the show.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against a tough competitor, Plastic.
Don't trust those numbers on the bottom. You have to stick to what you know. Only bottles and jugs found in the kitchen, bath, or laundry. They're quick to pick up. And empty those bottles before sinking that shot.
Always empty your bottles before recycling. Score big by recycling your plastic bottles and jugs. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
I love Will Rogers Athletics because it helped me physically, spiritually, and emotionally through all the journeys I've been through at that school. All of the support staff helped me a lot, and it's just an amazing school.
Athletics at Will Rogers changed my life because it became a second family. With the support of my coaches and teammates, it's helped me gain confidence, work as a team, and will help me in college and in life.
Welcome back to our last segment with boys coaches this time from the BOK. The 58th Annual Tournament of Champions. We'll start down here to my right with Felix Echevarria from Hale, Byron Flam from Metro Christian, Chad Clark from OK, and Brian Montanati from Owasso. Guys, we're glad you're here. Congratulations on being invited to the Tournament of Champions. It is a 58-year tradition in Tulsa. Started at Tulsa Memorial 58 years ago. A good friend of mine, Doug Duggar, was the originator of that, and he would be very proud today to see that we've escalated from the Memorial High School gym to the BOK Center. So let's talk about this in this first part of the segment. Felix, what does it mean for Nathan Hale High School to be in the tournament champ?
It means everything. We were down for a long time, as you know, and for our kids, we have 6 seniors on the team, and we've worked really hard to get back into the thick of things in terms of basketball on the east side of the state. So to reward these seniors with this, just a gift to show up at the BOK Center this Christmas is going to be nothing short of amazing. They're excited, they're proud, and our parents and our fans are really excited too.
Good. Brian, Owassa's been to some big games. How's this tournament fit with those?
This is our 4th time being in the Tournament of Champions since I've been here. It's something that we look forward to playing in, not only just our team but our community also. We've had this date circled on our calendar for some time now. So anytime you can be downtown Tulsa, during the Christmas holiday season, letting our kids play in the BOK Center. Not only just our team playing, but the teams playing in the tournament. It's great basketball. There's great individual talent in it too. So we're extremely excited to play in what we feel like is the most prestigious high school basketball tournament in the state.
Chad, how does the people in OK react to this?
Oh, it was amazing. This is what we were, I'll be honest, ever since my team was elementary, 3rd, 4th grade, when they got to watch my previous team in 2016, be lucky enough to play in the TOC. These young men have wanted to come back. They wanted to be here as players, not just spectators. And when we got the invite, it was a good day at OK.
Byron, what do you think?
Oh no, we're extremely excited as well. I believe it's only the 2nd time in school history that Metro's been in the TOC, and our kids, same thing. We got the call. We were extremely excited to represent small schools and get an opportunity to play schools you normally wouldn't play, and such good teams. It's an honor for sure.
It is a showcase. It's always great when you're down on the floor and you look up in the stands and you see all the college coaches. They're up on their cell phones making notes and sending messages back to their recruiting coordinator. It's great for those kids to be in that type of atmosphere as well. As you look at the timing, it's a Christmas tournament. What type of special preparation do you have to make, or is it just business as usual, Chad?
Oh no, we'll definitely. I'd say business as usual, but honestly, during Christmas break, probably for all of us, it's more of a relaxing time. Not this year. This year, we're coming in as a small school, and we know the giants we're going to face. So, but I believe this preparation will be easy. You're motivated more than anything because you're lucky enough to be in this tournament, and you want to make sure you represent your school good. And so we'll be prepared. Preparation will not be hard.
Brian?
It's a great time for us to get better as a team because, there's no distractions with school. So we get a lot of court time with the guys, a lot of teaching. We can build our chemistry and things like that. But, again, it gets back to, you can't take any team lightly. So we'll try to get these guys as prepared as possible for our first game. But we get a lot of on-court time, practice time in the gym with our guys without the distractions of everyday life.
Felix?
I didn't hesitate. I called Bobby Allison at Memorial, and I leaned on his experience right away, and he shared his schedule with me. And I think the hard part for me is keeping my guys out of the gym because they're just so excited to go. So I'm going to have to figure out some days where I have to be like, let's step away from basketball for a minute and then get back to it.
Brian?
We'll do like we normally do. We'll take time. We normally give kids off and give it off around New Year's and go from there. So we're not in a tournament that week. So we'll prepare as usual and give them time off later on.
That'll be good. As you look at your preparation to come into a 20,000 seat arena, does that alter any? Do you go to people that have a bigger gym to look at that size, or do you just continue to play?
You just play. Playing at the state fairgrounds last year will help. But the old Hoosiers quote, 10 feet. We do the same thing for us. Just do what you do and don't think about it. I think if you put too much on them, they'll think about it and it can be a distraction. But just go play.
Felix?
I took our kids to the ORU and the TU camps this summer. So I thought we got to play in the main gym a couple of times, so I thought that was a great experience for them, and they thrived in it.
Outstanding. Brian.
Hoopers hoop. You know, the goal's 10 feet high. Free throw line's 15 feet. You know, three-point line's still the same. So, you know, our guys are looking forward to playing in their big arena. But, you know, like I said, they've got to shoot it no matter if they're playing outside or inside or where they're playing.
Chad?
Yeah, the big arena. We last year at the Big House. We're also in the Fort Gibson tournament. They've got kind of a bigger style gymnasium. But I'm like these guys. You know, I don't think that's going to be on our mind. Just knowing the atmosphere and what's at stake. You know, the excitement. I don't believe the gym's going to be on anybody's mind too much.
Once the ball goes up and the clock starts running, you better not be worrying about where you are. As you look at your team, and it's early, and some of you have played and some of you haven't played yet, who are some of your go-to players, Felix?
Can't talk about Hale without bringing up Cabron Lewis and DeMario Adams. They're the leaders of our squad, our leading scorers. But I have a couple of other guys that deserve attention. Devontae Greggs and Kamari Bailey, seniors, hard-nosed, will do anything it takes to win without worrying about scoring. So I like to highlight those four for sure, and a couple of other seniors that come off the bench that really help us out.
Excellent. Right.
I've got two players that came back from last year's team, Wyatt Powell and Jackson Sowards, that they're going to carry most of the load for us. But we've got big 6'8" Troy Moses inside, who's starting now, and Henry Thompson slid into Mario's spot. It was an all-stater for us last year, and we're expecting big things out of him as well.
Mike. Not Mike. Chad.
Oh, Chad, yeah.
It was Mike's last segment.
Yes, sir. We're returning all starters. Diesel Davis, Tito Ramos, Ducky Swimmer, Bryson Parnell, Ashton Walters. Diesel is definitely, one of the best shooters I've been around, and I've mentioned that a few times. His work ethic's unbelievable. These guys want it. They work nonstop. And then we've got this old rough sophomore coming off the bench named Chase Clark. He brings a little spark to us also. And he's my son, that's why I can say that. But no, hey, these guys, their work ethic is, they deserve what they're getting.
Ryan.
We've got a big group. We play about 9. Obviously, our team starts with Jalen, my son. He's a heck of a player, nationally ranked. But we've got really, really good pieces around him with Bowden Williams, another sophomore. Then you look at our seniors, Cody Lecklider, Gabe Patterson, Anson Harbaugh, Gage and Antoine. They bring leadership from the senior standpoint. And then we've got Jax Kerr, 6'10", inside kid that can play inside out. We played 2 other sophomores off the bench, MJ Milton, Shake Milton, little brother who had a heck of a run in the Tournament of Champions a few years ago. And then Cohen Scott, another defensive specialist that's earning minutes. So we've got a core group. It just doesn't start around, Jalen. We've got definitely different pieces that we can add as time goes.
Excellent. Well, it's always been David and Goliath tournament. And the littles play the bigs, and we'll see what happens. You're the smallest. What do you think about that?
Coach Wilson, when he invited me, I was very appreciative, and he said, hey, enjoy it until you get the bracket. Well, we had a feeling who we'd get first, but honestly, we're hoping, the experience in the past really paid off. We're hoping it does again.
You think that makes any difference?
No. I mean, Coach Montenay said Hoopers go play. I mean, for kids to get an opportunity to play bigger schools, those small schools, it's just a fun opportunity you don't get. And again, our guys, we're just extremely excited and humbled to be there.
Seems like the coaching would be a little bit, though, because you get 2 or 3 in foul trouble. He's got more.
Right.
Guys, thank you for being here. Good luck in the Tournament of Champions, the 58th annual. And we hope we'll have a great tournament again this year. And we'll be right back with Mick Wilson, the Executive Director of the Tulsa Public School Athletic Department.
Hey, Tulsa, we have a crushing recycle play of the day for you. Team Johnson versus paper and cardboard.
They're starting off slow today, probably trying to figure out what to do with those styrofoam plates, since they're not recyclable.
There's the big play we were waiting for. Boom! Completely empty cardboard boxes dunked in the cart. Score big by recycling your cardboard and paper. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics and our special edition of the 58th Annual Tournament of Champions. I have with me now the Executive Director of Athletics and the Tournament Director, Mick Wilson. Mick, welcome to the show. This is always a great time of the year.
Thank you, Gil. Another exciting year, another exciting time. It was a great time today with the press conference and the luncheon, and I think everyone had a good time. The coaches seemed to really enjoy themselves, and it was just an enjoyable day.
You know, the atmosphere was a little bit different than in the past. Everybody was excited about being here.
I think, again, people realize that we always try to put our best foot forward with the tournament champions. We try to make it a quality event for the kids, for the coaches, for their communities. And the BOK Center, again, is just a world-class facility. And I think people now are starting to figure out that it's been a well-kept secret across the state, not here in Northeast Oklahoma, but across the state. And I think as we start drawing teams in statewide, they realize, hey, this is a really fun place to play basketball.
I agree. Our interim superintendent did a great job in welcoming everybody to Tulsa and to the Tournament of Champions. I think Dr. Johnson is a breath of fresh air for all of us. And
she's been great. She does, obviously she loves athletics and loves sports, and obviously with her kids, both have been very successful high school athletes
in the program,
and very, very good student athletes as well, because again, that's something that we want to stress is not just athlete, but student athlete. And so she understands the importance and the value that athletics brings to a district, that brings to your school, brings to your culture, because again, it's sometimes it's the reason kids come to school, let's be honest with you. And so we're excited about that, and sure appreciate her support and being here. And not only did she come today, but she ended up eating lunch with us, and it was a great time for her to meet a lot of people statewide that have successful programs, and of course some visiting superintendents from other schools were here as well. So it was a great day of fellowship, no doubt.
It's always great to have that relationship with your administration. Well, let's get to it. The 58th annual. Let's go to the girls' bracket first.
Well, I tell you, it's going to be interesting to see that first round game. To me, when I look at how this is shaken out so far, is the interesting game is going to be Tahlequah and Lincoln Christian. Obviously, Lincoln Christian coming off a championship last year in the Tournament Champions, but I tell you, I know the Tahlequah girls are very good and well coached. Coach Qualls did an outstanding job with those young ladies, and so that's going to be one game that I think people are going to want to see. And of course, that's a 7 o'clock tip on that first night, and I think it'll be a big crowd, and people will be there to see some really good basketball. But again, when you look at the brackets, Gil, every game is going to be quality. I mean, you could make the same case with Edmond Memorial and Verdigris. Coach Buntin does such a great job with those young ladies. So again, I think going to be some really good games. It's going to be interesting to people want to see the style of play with Riverside. They've won a lot of games at Riverside, and it's going to be it'll be really exciting. I'm not sure. I didn't get to see Darlene's interview earlier, but I'm sure she's concerned because they got a lot of tradition. So just some going to be interesting, but some really good first round matchups.
She indicated they'd seen a lot of tape on them. On Riverside.
I bet, because you're always, if you're that 5A or 6A school, you always got to think in the back of your mind, hey, we've got to win this. There's some pressure, but I think that's the beauty of the Tournament Champions Guild the last few years, especially with Dale winning the entire tournament last year on the boys' side, and Lincoln Christian being considered kind of a middle-of-the-road classification school that they won the Tournament Champions. So, again, there's some pressure there, but every team has respect because they're all good and they all have the right to be here.
I think you might be right about the game between the Tahlequah and Metro, because Tahlequah brings everybody back according to Coach Qualls. Lincoln only lost 2 starters. So they have 3 back that played in the tournament. And I think experience in the tournament in that facility makes a heck of a lot of difference.
I had no question. It's again, it can be a little jaw dropping when you walk in, when you're used to playing in small gyms or gyms that aren't of that type of that caliber or that venue. It can be a little bit hard to get used to for kids to play in that environment. But by day 3, usually they're getting the feel of it and ready to go.
2 or 3 of them mentioned Hoosiers. The basket's still 10 feet from the floor.
Absolutely.
It doesn't make any difference where
and the court's still 94 feet.
94 feet, exactly. Well, when we come back, we'll go through the boys bracket, and then we want to talk about how to buy a ticket, how you get in to the tournament on the 27th, 28th, and 29th of December. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is looking to defend their title against aluminum and steel cans.
Bob, most people think of the kitchen for this opponent, but aluminum and steel cans, like empty shaving cream cans, also play extremely well in bathrooms all over Tulsa. That was nothing but bin, Bob.
Wow, right into the bin. Team Johnson has buttoned up another win. Score big by recycling your aluminum and steel cans. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hale's mean that you have to be consistent, outgoing, and be dedicated because students at Nathan Hale look up to the football team.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hale has taught me to be confident and disciplined and always to be open-minded and always ready to work with people no matter how difficult it is.
Welcome back, and we're with Mick Wilson, the Executive Director of Athletics for the Tulsa Public Schools, talking about the 58th Annual Tournament of Champions. And now we're going to talk about the boys bracket, and it is every bit as tough as the girls bracket.
Well, it's as tough as the girls bracket, and it's, again, tough that you see year in and year out. Again, with Dale being back, obviously might be the hottest team in Oklahoma right now of any classification. Just a great tradition. They're coming off a big tournament they just visited in Chicago area. And it'll be interesting to see. There are defending champs, so the performance, and obviously with a premier player. So, going to be real interesting to see how these first-round games shake out. The one that really jumps out to me right off the bat is Weatherford crossing Christian. Both teams met last year in the state semifinals, so I'm sure they're probably thinking, "Oh, here we go again, part two in the first round of the Tournament of Champions." But again, quality teams, Gil. Across the board, these coaches do such a great job, both boys and girls. They all have marquee players. They have great community following and great tradition. So again, I think the first round games are going to be as tough as ever. Again, like I said, I think the Weatherford Crossing Christian game will be a real interesting game to watch that first day.
Crossings,
that's right.
We got to put an S on that.
Shawn has straightened me out several times, so he makes sure I'm consistent with that.
Exactly. I asked Chad Clark from OK, I said, now you have a ADM of 102, and you're playing at a school that has 2,500. Do you think that makes any difference? He said, no, we just play basketball.
Gil, the old story, it only takes 5.
Exactly.
You got to have 5 players on the floor. So it'll be interesting. He was excited. He's had a lot of people endorse his team last year that lobbied for him to get into this tournament, and he was excited. And I know they had a real serious run late in the year last year, and our quality team. And we've had them before, and he does a great job, and he really works hard at it. So
he said it was major for their community.
No doubt about it. Gil, I always think back to the story of one year we had a coach ask us about having a seating meeting. And we said, this is a tournament of champions. We don't have seating meetings. I said, but who would you have picked? Who would you have wanted to play? And after he looked at the bracket, he goes, no, I think we're okay where we're at.
Yeah, he didn't want to be seated with anybody else. Well, look at some other matchups. Of course, Owasso is going to be as good as always. Brian Mananani does a great job at coaching, and Metro has some players this year.
They do have some players. And again, obviously Brian's son has become such a marquee player, and I know him and his son. I'm sure they work hard and spend a lot of time outside the gym and work hard at it. But it's exciting because he does have a terrific team, and Owasso has a great following, and they really support their basketball. And Metro Christian, I'm excited. I've only seen them on tape when we kind of recruited them and thought they were going to be the team. And then, of course, Bobby Allison spoke real highly of their program, and also speaks highly of Coach Flam and what he does and what he works to put together a good team. So, again, I think that'll be an interesting game. I mean, there's no doubt about it that could be an upset, but I know Brian's going to go back and get right to work. I'm
Absolutely.
sure he watches much tape and works at it as hard as anyone. So they'll be prepared. So it'll be a dogfight.
Well, we really appreciate Quick Trip being a special partner for this year's tournament. And, of course, our friends at the BOK, who always do a great job hosting the high school teams to come in there.
When you get legitimate people that want to be involved with your product, it's always complimentary. It makes you feel good that people respect the job that you do, and that the people respect such a quality event that we host with Tulsa Public Schools. We try to make our district proud.
Absolutely.
We try to know that this is one event statewide that people respect, and so we got to put our best foot forward and be able to get people like that, whether Quick Trip or the BOK Center, to be involved, TTCU. I mean, I could go down the list of sponsors that want to help us, the Cherokee Nation and Joe Deere. They believe in us and want to lift us up, and they know at the end of the day it's about supporting our kids and our student athletes, and so we want to do that. So
well,
it's been really good.
The tournament is the 27th, 28th, and 29th of December at the BOK Center. It's an all-day basketball. You have 2 sessions a day for 3 days. But tell our viewers, how do you get in?
Well, tickets went on sale today, and the all-session passes are $60, which is they're $40, which is a $60 value. So if you were to attend and just buy tickets every day, you're going to save $20 if you get online and buy those passes. Courtside seats are a little more, and I don't have that price in front of me, but you can get online at bokcenter.com and check those out. But again, you can walk up and buy a ticket if you want. We do take the OSSA playoff pass, so people will need to have those available and ready to redeem on their phone when they arrive, but that will be the only pass that's accepted. But again, get online, purchase those tickets, and we need to remind folks that our community members and our viewers that the BOK Center is now cashless. So if you plan on eating at Billy's on the Square or having a pretzel or something like that, you need to make sure you got your debit or credit card, and of course there is an ATM on site, so you can be able to get cash if you need, if you have other things to do while you're downtown. So there will be some events there that are going on, obviously, with Winterfest. So we want to welcome people to come out and be a part of our Tulsa community while they're here.
All right. Well, good luck. We hope we have a great tournament, and we'll be back with our closing thoughts in just a moment.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against one tough competitor, glass.
That's right, only glass bottles and jars are recyclable. Don't even think about sinking a drink in glass or mirror. Always good to empty your glass bottles and jars before recycling.
These two get it, emptying both bottles from far out, and they remove the lids. Score big by recycling your glass bottles and jars. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Booker T. Washington has taught me to carry myself with class as an athlete, student, and friend, and to have responsibility on and off the field, and that it's the littlest things that will make all the difference in the long run.
Being an athlete at Memorial High School has taught me to be a better person, because when you play sports, attitude is the main thing you have to deal with, not just your own, but other people's. It also teaches you to be the bigger person.
Hope you enjoyed today's show about the Tournament of Champions, a special presentation of Inside Tulsa Athletics, the 58th edition of the Premier Basketball Invitational Tournament in the state of Oklahoma. The tournament dates this year are December 27, 28, and 29. The lineup of teams this year is outstanding and promises to have the forerunner of the state tournament for many of these teams. We'll be right back with the 24th edition of ITA on January the 12th with a new year in the TPS athletics. Happy holidays to all, and make sure you attend the Tournament of Champions December 27, 28, and 29 at the BOK Center. Happy New Year.